present our test, which is entitled Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test. In this presentation, we will explain and talk about the description, objectives, purpose, what do the MEC test measures, test takers' qualifications, apparatuses, test administration, test scores and interpretation, and test instructions of Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test. So what is Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test? When an employee experiences bereavement, it can have a significant impact on the workplace. Some workplaces are often incapable of providing grief and bereavement support. In many workplaces, if they provide grief support, they usually do not consider the complexity or duration that is usually required to cope. The MEC test was developed to measure bereaved employees' level of passion and enthusiasm in the workplace, as well as to encourage personal growth and self-awareness, to promote a healthy competitive environment, and to raise mental health awareness in the workplace.
Purpose of MEC test. The MEC test is developed to evaluate the level of spirit and ardor in the workplace of bereaved employees. Losing or death of a loved one is considered to be one of the most stressful experiences in an individual's life. Employers must be more conscious of the effects of mourning on their employees and implement policies and procedures to help them cope. In this test, the behavioral, emotional, psychological, and social domains will all be used for measurement. What do the MEC test measures? The MEC test measures the effect of bereavement at the competitiveness rate of an employee or professional. This evaluation tool targets to determine if the loss of a loved one will cause a tremendous impact, will cause no change, or will result in a negative change in the subject's competitiveness rate. Test items are rated with the usage of a 4 Likert scale to put up neutrality.
Test takers' qualifications. As the name of the assessment tool implies, the respondents for this test should have the following trait in order to be considered as a prospect respondent. Currently employed, wherein the respondent does not necessarily need to have a specific tenure. For as long as the respondent is employed, it should be fine. Last qualification, the respondent must have experienced bereavement or loss of a loved one. The bereavement should be within a year or two. For the apparatuses, the respondents will utilize the following tools in answering the MEC test. The MEC test questionnaire, pencil, paper, eraser. Should the MEC test be administered online, an internet-capable device should be secured. For the test administration, detailed instructions will be included in the test manual. It will include the optimal settings where and how the test can be administered effectively. The good thing is the MEC test can be administered both face-to-face and via Google Forms. How easy can that get?
The scores and interpretation of the Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test. The MEC test uses a Likert scale questionnaire that has 4-point scale. The interpretation of scores were entirely based on the scores of all the items from the 4 domains: the behavioral, emotional, psychological, and social domains. Here are the mourning statement score interpretation. In the mourning statement, the respondent shows extremely high score that results to 205 to 240 scores, and it describes that respondents exhibit immense tendency to mourn, while the respondent shows extremely low score that results to 60 to 96 score, and it describes that respondents exhibits bottom tendency to mourn. Now, here are the competitiveness statement score interpretation. In the competitiveness statement, the respondent results extremely high score, which is 133 to 160 score, and it described that the respondent exhibits immense tendency to be competitive, while the respondent shows extremely low score that results to 40 to 65 scores, and it described that The respondent exhibits bottom tendency to be competitive. Test instructions. The Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test, or the MEC test, is designed to measure the level of spirit and ardor in the workplace of the bereaved employees. Its measurements will be based on the behavioral, emotional, psychological, and social domains, respectively. The participants will indicate whether the statement is a characteristic of them or what they believe by shading the circle of a corresponding response or is not applicable to them. For example, if you totally disagree with the statement on an item, please shade the totally disagree shade circle on the statement. Test items will be rated using a 4-point Likert scale to eliminate neutrally. The options for the test items are as follows. Before taking the test takers should ensure that their phones are on silent mode to avoid any distraction. Test takers need to ensure that they take the test on an empty bladder and that their appetite is sated. The facilitators will provide the test manual and answer sheets. Pencils and erasers should be secured by the test takers before the testing proper. The test takers must read the instruction carefully and need to wait for the signal to begin the test. Any questions about the test should be directed to the facilitator. While answering the test takers should read the statements carefully and relate each of them to their everyday lives. Honest answers are vital to the accuracy of this test. Here are the sample test items or statements of the Mourning Employee Competitiveness Test.